was excellent.
Zoe Dillon-Davidson is in many ways the classic example of a high-achieving student-athlete, good enough in the classroom to have contended for a National Merit Scholarship and to be headed to Williams College next fall. She's just as accomplished on the playing fields, particularly as a mainstay of Amherst Regional High School's powerful softball team. But all it took was one foul ball off the forehead of her catcher's mask last season to disrupt her completely in both areas. The resulting concussion, considered a moderate one, was still enough to cost her a week of school and a few off the softball field, and it didn't even seem like much at first.
I was catching at South Hadley game, and the pitch came in, and the batter, I believe she went to swing at it. I can't remember quite well, but the bat went out in front of the plate, and the pitch, it was a rise ball, and it kind of skimmed just right off the top of her bat, just off the tip, and my glove was positioned right, ready to catch it if it hadn't made contact with the bat, but it tipped off at just such an angle, such a subtle angle, but still significant enough that I wasn't able to catch it and react in time because it was like a foot away from my glove, so, and it just went and hit up straight, like in the middle of my forehead on my mask, which, I was, of course, wearing a mask at the time, and at the time, it was, a shock. I kind of fell backwards a bit. I didn't actually fall down, I don't think. Yeah, but it was just kind of like a little shock. My head kind of hurt, took my helmet off, just kind of shook it around. It was like, whatever, like walk it off. And people were like, "Are you alright?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, I felt nothing. It was just like, oh, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Put my helmet back on, and the game kept going, kept playing, and felt fine for the rest of the game.
It didn't take long for a serious post-game headache to set in, and for Zoe's parents to realize that something was definitely wrong. She eventually spent several hours at the Cooley Dickinson Hospital emergency room that night, more or less out of it, a state that would persist for most of the ensuing week.
For a week, I basically, I virtually slept for a week. Very little exaggeration, actually. I only woke up for maybe an hour twice a day for 7 days. I'd have a little meal, something very bland, just basically toast, dry toast, because I was still feeling incredibly nauseated. They gave me some of the anti-nauseating pills, but yeah, I literally slept the entire week. I just could not stay awake. I couldn't, my brain wasn't functioning. I couldn't form thoughts. Actually, there was one point
when she tried to go back to classes too early, it quickly became clear that was a bad idea.
I think my parents thought it was a lot less serious than it actually was, because I didn't go to school on Tuesday, obviously. Slept the whole day, and then on Wednesday my parents kind of were like, you should go to school, you don't want to miss class and everything. So I was like, okay, yeah, I don't want to miss class. I want to stay, caught up. So I did go to school, and probably within about 10 minutes of being there, I was just walking in the hallway, and apparently I was swaying a bit or something, or I think I was actually clutching the wall. I was kind of walking along the wall for support, and two of my teammates, Emma Madoker and Emma Ayers, saw me in the hallway, and apparently they immediately, I remember this, but they immediately just kind of ran over to me and kind of started supporting me, Zoe, what are you doing at school? Go home.
Eventually, Zoe's symptoms subsided, and she was able to return to school and to the softball field. But her folks weren't going to let that happen without an upgrade in her head protection.
Immediately, when we started talking about softball, right after it happened, their first thoughts were, well, we're getting you a new helmet. I was fine with that. My old one was kind of getting old, actually, so I was happy to get a new one, although for different reasons than them, and actually different reasons than I should have, actually.
With her college destination set, Zoe is already anticipating one more shot at a state title with the Amherst Regional team, and she'll approach this season with a lot more information than she started with last year.
I knew nothing about it. Actually, as far as I'm concerned, concussions were strictly limited to football players. I don't know ice hockey players. I actually thought it was much harder to get one than it actually was. I thought you had to smash your head against some concrete or something, but yeah, so I had no experience whatsoever with concussion. So
these days, she knows better. For GazetteNet, this is Don St. John.